Wow. Did you see Ben Habib's speech at the weekend? Very inspirational. That's what we need in politics now. I know he's not an MP, but he may be. Well done, Ben. Now go on to the Epstein files. More trouble for those at the top. It seems like they were all in it, even above politicians. Dare I say, right up the royal family. And McSweeney, the PM's right-hand man, takes one for the team. But his resignation speaks volumes. Is there more to come? I think so. The country is in a right mess at the moment. Immigration, economics, and they all blame Liz Truss for crushing the economy. It wasn't Liz Truss. We know who it was. It was the Bank of England and the World Economic Forum. The people voted for, once Johnson went, the people voted for Liz Truss to take over. The elites didn't like that. So they did everything they could to get rid of her and put in one of their puppets, Rishi Sunak. And after that, well, Sunak is like, oh, I don't like this anymore. I'm going to call an early general election. And guess who won? Labour. The people didn't vote for Labour. They voted against the Tories. And now look what's happened. We would have been better off if they let Liz Truss have a longer go. That's in my opinion. It all happened decades ago, but it became more apparent during Brexit. Cameron said, it's not up to me, I'll give it to the people. Let's have a referendum. And we'll see once we win. But, whoa, did they win? No, the people won. The people wanted Brexit. They wanted to get out of Europe. They wanted to control our own borders. Loads and loads of lies. Ever since the referendum, the elites, the politicians and that, did the utmost to stop us from completely leaving Europe. Boris Johnson was just as much to blame. We'll get Brexit done. But they didn't, did they? We're still part of Europe. It's Brino, as they say, Brexit in name only. We would have been better off if we just cut the cord and looked after ourselves. We would have had our electricity, gas, much cheaper because we manufacture it ourselves. We could have dig, baby, dig, and got gas, kept open the oil fields in the North Sea. We would have been much better off. But no, it was the elites in charge. What do us common people know? We're still suffering now, even more so. Boris started with a net zero, which was a load of rubbish, because if we are the only country in the world that's going for net zero, all the other countries like China, Russia, India are laughing at us. And they're selling their gas and oil to us. Just doesn't make sense, does it? Well, it does to other people, the elites, because they have enough money to look after themselves. We're dependent on the government to look after us, and they're not. What I would love to see is Advance UK winning the general election in 2029. If there's an election tomorrow, I do think Reform will win. But they haven't got the country's interests at heart. I don't think they have anyway. They're just another part of the elite. They say one thing and do another. That's why I followed Ben into Reform. It was the first political party I joined because of Ben Habib. What a sensible bloke he is. And then found out about Rupert Law. But Nigel didn't like them because they were too popular, so they got rid of them. Nigel has now become a third cheek on the same arse of the British politicians. Who'd have thought it? Anyway, it's all lies, lies, lies. We'll see what happens when more of the Epstein files comes to light. Should be very interesting.